Welcome to the first episode of Unprepared. This is basically a thought where I just wanted to share my thoughts on different topics which are comes to my mind. The thought is basically to try and have a discussion amongst us so that we can come up with new perspectives, because I always think that when you have some stuff to talk about, it's always better to have a conversation whenever possible. So that is a thought behind this. So the one thing I would like in this is basically try to have your thoughts on the topics I'm talking about, because more perspectives when it comes into the scenario, we will get different thoughts of the same topic. So that is something which I like personally. So yeah, that's the whole thought behind this. And also another thing I would like is, if you have any topics which you would like me to talk on, do post it in the comment section so that I know the things which you guys are interested in as well. The first thing I would like to talk about is, I was scrolling across Instagram, and the other day I came across this reel where a psychologist was talking about positive reinforcement, where husbands who are not involved in household chores, let them know or talk with them in such a way that they feel like there is a reward to what they have done, so that they can do it again and again. It's a good thought, like making sure that men are involved in household chores and trying to make them feel like it is rewarding is a good thing. But the first comment under that video what I saw was, why should women, it was from a woman, why should women try to you know talk about basic things, basic household chores to men, as if it's a big deal. Now, the first thing I would like to tell on this aspect is, how did women actually come into this place where they feel like the household chores is their department? Nobody was born that way, right? Nobody, no girl is born, out of the womb and comes into the world and says that, I'm going to own the kitchen, I'm going to do all the household chores. That doesn't happen. But the society's pattern of, letting a woman grow is so properly done to keep putting the same stuff again and again, that you have to stand this way, you have to sit this way, you have to dress this way, you have to look this way, you have to walk this way, you have to laugh this way, and after a certain age you have to cook this way, you have to take care of this way, you have to be there for people, you have to do this, that, everything. Because the whole pattern of women is always going to get involved in the emotional aspect. But the issue is, after they start doing it because they think that this is what life is, they don't get rewarded, they don't get praised for the work they do, the daily chores, I mean. They don't get that. They feel that they are not respected enough because they just do household chores. It's not a big deal for others at all. That is a thought put into this. Now, when someone like that psychologist, who was also a woman, she spoke about trying to positive reinforcement by showing reward on the stuff they do, from a woman who is already feeling unrewarded from the things she is doing. That expectation itself feels very unfair to me, because if you are expecting women to compliment men on the daily chores just to make them work, what about the women who are not getting that? How do you fulfill that? How do you fill that patch? Because again, you are again putting women in a trap where they have to feel like it is their duty to do the whole household chores, and if men are involved and doing it, it's a big deal. That shouldn't be the case, right? Because nobody on this earth is born to do something like, this is your department, that is your department. But we have been so nonsensical in many stuff where these departments are managed by only this gender or this group of people. That shouldn't be the case, that cannot be the case. But how can you balance this out? Because if you are asking a woman who is not feeling respected, who is not feeling like she belongs to that place, who doesn't feel like she owns the place, who doesn't feel respected enough for the things she does, how can you make that person feel like it's okay to make others feel this way even though you are not getting it? That's just putting too much pressure on something which is already on not on the right track. Thought of men having to do household chores shouldn't be celebrated because it's a normal thing. It's a very basic, you know, the minimum, the bare minimum, as they say. That is what it is. So you shouldn't make a big deal out of people or men who do household chores. That's my first point. And the second point is, when you have structured, the system in such a way where the girl keeps getting more and more data on that she has to take care of this, she has to take care of the household chores, she has to do all the cooking, she has to do this, she has to take care of the kids, she has to take care of that, everything, and also manage the home. All the things are put on her, and they just grow with all these data, whereas a guy is like, it's okay, it's not a big deal, because they just can, get away from the situation very easily because they are men. Why is this the case? That's the frustrating part. The annoying part in this, for me at least, is that the boy who is growing up is said all the things like, you need not do, I will take care of it, oh my god, my raja, my babu, all those things. You give all the, all the attention to the boy, and you just let him grow without having any kind of responsibility for the household stuff. Now after, say they maybe, go outside your place for higher studies or something, or they get married or whatever happens, then they're expected to do everything which they have no idea about. But can you blame that boy now? Not really. But the whole system of growing up is structured in such a way where it contains so much nonsense that it becomes difficult to make things balanced. And now the fight for who is the bigger person comes into play, and that is never ending, because it's always going to be the case of, my problems are bigger than yours, your problems are bigger than mine, kind of a fight which is never ending. Now to balance this out, only way is when the structure changes, when the thought of, you know making boys do the household chores, having the discipline. Because I mean, I can clean the house, wash the clothes, do the cooking, clean all the dishes, everything I can do. That doesn't mean like, oh my god, wow, that's a rarity. It shouldn't be the case. The thing is that those things for me comes under discipline, self discipline, having a standard for yourself. And if that is not there, how do you actually evaluate where we stand at as individuals? It's not even about what others are going to say, it's about what you think about yourself, what you feel about yourself. If that is not going to happen, I don't think the evolvement of everything becoming a balanced is going to happen, because things have been structured in a way where the inequality already happens. I mean, I strongly believe that women are, born so much intelligent and so advanced compared to men. But the thing is, the society is structured so beautifully that they are all trapped in an emotional bubble. And when they try to break that bubble, another person comes and says, oh, no, 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 you shouldn't get out. You should stay in this. This is how you can stay safe. This is how you have to be. And women, being the emotional kind of being they are okay with it. So to break this balance, men have to come to a level and create a standard for themselves, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to change anything. Everybody has responsibilities, everybody is doing whatever they can in some way or the other. But how can families as such become more, more like a good place to be, because right now if you see, nobody is willing to stay at home and talk to each other and be there for each other. It's always like, I need a change of mind, I need change of this, I need change of that, I need distraction. Basically everything comes down to distraction now. If that is what family system is going to be, why even bother marrying? Just stay by yourself, live your life, die, that's all. Why even bother with involving another individual just to create a next generation which is going to do other again the same thing? Unless we are going to change the structure of having a different mentality of growth, how is that going to change? That's my question. Because things feel like things are getting better, but somewhere we are repeatedly stuck. And that is also because men on the other hand don't get the kind of appreciation they deserve for the work they do. They keep working, they keep doing everything, they put their put everything forward for the family, do everything for the family, but when they do it for the family, they don't get rewarded for what they do. So what basically is happening is, we have two different individuals trying to stay in a same place, but both are unhappy, because only way they can get through life is having distractions. And we are not short of distractions in the current way, with all the social media and all the stuff you can go out and explore. But the thing is, regardless of how much you do, how much natural beauty you explore around the world, you're always going to come back to the same room, to the same place, to the same space where you have to face the same individual again. Unless you create an environment where you feel like you want to spend time, or you want to have your own space, try to communicate those and have a proper uh, you know proper place mentally and physically, where you enjoy each other's company. This can only happen when the things are communicated, when the things are expressed, and the things expressed, whether the expectation can be fulfilled or not, is properly shared by both the individuals. If the guy is expecting something from the girl, or the girl is expecting something from the guy, try to share it in a way where the other is able to understand, but also is in a position to be okay if it cannot be done 100% to their expectation. Because the expectation, if you have 110% and they are saying you are, I'm going to do only 50% of it, you are always going to get frustrated. But the thought behind asking is not to make them do it, but to know whether they are willing to do it and how much they are willing to do it. If they are willing to do it to a certain amount, try to see where you can balance that out. It goes for both the people. Because unless we make a proper place for two individuals to reside in in the similar space, which is a home, the family system is not going to last long. Because if it's going to be like, you don't do this, you don't listen to what I say, you don't do this, you don't do that, you say this, you say that, all these things happen. But what is the end result? Two individuals not willing to be there in the same space, look at each other. And if that is going to be the case, then the system of having a family such just doesn't work out, because it is just two frustrated individuals not getting things fulfilled, and that's going to end up in a mess somehow. We always talk about family system in a funny way, with a lot of humor, saying wives are this way, husbands are that way. But we have to stop this nonsense and try to make sense of things, where we actually want to live peacefully with each other, with a balance. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, I'm saying the imperfection is what is perfect. That is what makes life beautiful, is what I'm trying to say. Because unless we accept that the person is like this, it's going to be tough for anybody to be okay with whatever is happening. Because If a person is coming like this has to happen 100% only, then I will be happy. You just cannot be happy. The expectation should be on the part of how much I want this, how much can do you think you can give, because I feel this is something I require in this situation, in this relationship. I want this to be the case. I want these things to be taken care of. What do you think about it? Have a conversation where you reach a place where both have something to give. Because if you feel like it is about taking, then both will keep taking and there will be nothing left on the bowl, which is family. The thing is, marriage as such is trying to hold on to something very badly just to not break, which is happening because people are getting better at what they are able to do, what they are able to achieve in their life, what they want to do in their lives. Because the preference of having a family, how the family should be, how they should grow, all these things have grown, as you know, with the years, with their mental exposure and all the things they come across. So they learn, they gather information, they want to explore that, and they come up with something new and better as time goes. But mentally, in terms of how we evolve, that is still, I don't know how many years behind. So there is like a big gap between how much we are growing versus where our state of mind is in terms of evolvement. So I think we have to understand each other to make sure that the bond is there, the thought of being there for the other person is there more than anything, and trying to just hear each other out. Because I think that at the end of the day, all we actually need is, when we are feeling very low, when we are feeling like everything is done, you just need one hand on your shoulder saying it's okay, I got this, we got this. That is all we need. Because that once, emotional support for any person, regardless of the gender, it's going to make a life lot more beautiful, lot more easier, and a lot more fun to actually live than survive. Because we have the instinct to go into survival mode very easily, because we are so much used to, we are put in many situations where survival mode seems very normal to us. But the thing is, the thought of life is to live, not survive. But somewhere we have lost the track and made us, you know put ourselves in a state where we have to survive financially, we have to survive mentally, we have to survive. That has become a normalcy now, unfortunately. That is the thing I want. I would like, you know to to change that, to just live rather than try to, you know survive. I just don't get why there is so much drive to keep doing the same thing which people hate. As people, as individuals, I think everybody deserves to be appreciated. you know in a household system, the women is not appreciated enough for the efforts. And when you are going out and working, the men is not appreciated enough for their work, for the efforts they put in, for the things they do to the family. When women goes out to work, she is expected to come back and work and do the household chores. So where does the balance strike? Because it again comes down to, why do we make it feel like this is their department, that is this department? Why is there even a thought about this? If a person goes to work, comes back, has the time to cook, let her cook, let him cook, completely fine. Now when a man comes, home from work, and he's tired and he's like, let's order food, that's not an issue. Because the guy who is tired, he has worked hard, fine. Now the same thing, women goes to work, comes back, tries to order food. Now there is a topic where everybody discusses on why do you not cook food? Why do you have to, buy it, order it, eat healthy? Now, in case of men, it is fine. In case of women, it is problematic. How can even the same food we eat, can have so much differences based on the gender? That is my issue. I'm not saying home cooked food is something which has to be done by whomever. I'm saying I'm in a scenario where a man is ordering, and that's not an issue. But when a woman is tired and is ordering, that becomes an issue. Because we expect the women to come back from work where the man has also worked, to come back, to cook, to serve the family, and after serving everything, you have to eat and then clean up and do everything and then go to sleep and do the work again next morning. Now, how is this fair? So, basically, what I'm trying to say is there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a state of thought where we just feel like just do it. Whoever is there, if you have the time, if you can put in the effort, put it, and make it a point to appreciate each other. If that is not there, if you guys don't appreciate each other, who else will? Who else should be doing that work? Because if anything in life is one sided, it's going to become a burden at some point. Regardless of how much patience a person has, if it's not going to be two-way street, somewhere it is going to break. And that break can happen in anything, any kind of relationship. So let's try to find the balance. That is my thought. Do tell me your thoughts in the comment section, and also if you have any topics which you would like me to talk about, so do share it with others so that I get more perspectives, because it's always good to have discussions and try to understand people's perspectives as to how what point of view they are thinking from. The thought is just to try and make changes within ourselves, because if we start becoming better people, the society automatically becomes better, right? So why not? We already have a messed up system where everything feels like a burden already. Unless we start appreciating each other for all the little things we do in life, it's going to be a tough life. That's all. Thank you.